दाता, दर पर फकीर आया।
तेरा नाम सुन के दाता, दर पर फकीर आया।
सुनते हैं जो भी आया, भर भर के झोली पाया।
सुनते हैं जो भी आया, भर भर के झोली पाया।
सुनते हैं जो भी आया, भर भर के झोली पाया।
सुनते हैं जो भी आया, भर भर के झोली पाया।
भर भर के झोली पाया।
भर भर के झोली पाया।
पर यह फकीर मौला, पर यह फकीर मौला, झोली न संग लाया।
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 झोली न संग लाया। 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 झोली न संग लाया।
पर यह फकीर मौला, झोली न संग लाया।
पर यह फकीर मौला, झोली न संग लाया।
तेरा नाम सुन के दाता, तेरा नाम सुन के दाता, दर पर फकीर आया।
तेरा नाम सुन के दाता, दर पर फकीर आया।
उस नाम के मुताबिक कर दे करम खुदाया।
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 जाएगा जहाँ से तेरे नाम का सफाया
हो जाएगा जहाँ से तेरे नाम का सफाया।
तेरा नाम सुन के दाता दर पर फकीर आया
तेरा नाम सुन के दाता दर पर फकीर आया।
उस नाम के मुताबिक कर दे करम खुदाया
उस नाम के मुताबिक कर दे करम खुदाया।
सामान दे या ना दे मर्जी तेरी है रहबर
सामान दे या ना दे मर्जी तेरी है रहबर।
सामान दे या ना दे मर्जी तेरी है रहबर
सामान दे या ना दे मर्जी तेरी है रहबर।
मर्जी तेरी है रहबर
मर्जी तेरी है रहबर।
झोली तो दे दे दाता ठोकर बहुत है खाया
झोली तो दे दे दाता ठोकर बहुत है खाया।
झोली तो दे दे दाता ठोकर बहुत है खाया
झोली तो दे दे दाता ठोकर बहुत है खाया।
ठोकर बहुत है खाया ठोकर बहुत है खाया
ठोकर बहुत है खाया ठोकर बहुत है खाया।
ठोकर बहुत है खाया ठोकर बहुत है खाया
ठोकर बहुत है खाया ठोकर बहुत है खाया।
झोली तो दे दे दाता झोली तो दे दे दाता ठोकर बहुत है खाया
झोली तो दे दे दाता ठोकर बहुत है खाया।
तेरा नाम सुन के दाता दर पर फकीर आया
तेरा नाम सुन के दाता दर पर फकीर आया।
तेरा नाम सुन के दाता दर पर फकीर आया
तेरा नाम सुन के
आशिकों ने मुझको यह राज है बताया।
तेरे आशिकों ने मुझको यह राज है बताया।
तेरे आशिकों ने मुझको यह राज है बताया।
तेरे आशिकों ने मुझको यह राज है बताया।
तेरा नाम सुन के दाता दर पर फकीर आया।
तेरा नाम सुन के दाता दर पर फकीर आया।
दर पर फकीर आया। 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 दर पर फकीर आया।
तेरा नाम सुन के दाता दर पर फकीर आया।
तेरा नाम सुन के दाता दर पर फकीर आया।
उस नाम के मुताबिक कर दे करम खुदाया।
उस नाम के मुताबिक कर दे करम खुदाया।
कर दे करम खुदाया। खुदाया कर दे करम खुदाया।
कर दे करम खुदाया। खुदाया कर दे करम खुदाया।
कर दे करम खुदाया। कर दे करम खुदाया।
कर दे करम खुदाया। कर दे करम खुदाया।
कर दे करम खुदाया।
कर दे करम खुदाया।
उस नाम के मुताबिक कर दे करम खुदाया।
उस नाम के मुताबिक कर दे करम खुदाया।
तेरा नाम सुन के दाता दर पर फकीर आया।
तेरा नाम सुन के दाता दर पर फकीर आया।
तेरा नाम सुन के दाता दर पर फकीर आया।
तेरा नाम सुन के दाता दर पर फकीर आया।
अलबेली सरकार की
जय।
This lecture will have a fairly directed message. It's going to be particularly useful for those who are practicing daily sadhana and want to make sure that their efforts are streamlined. We only have a limited amount of time in the day. Some of you may find 30 minutes to practice sadhana. Some of you may find an hour or 2 hours. but you have limitations, and you want to make the most of the time that you're dedicating for practicing devotion. We want to be efficient, get maximum returns for the effort that we're putting forth. So I'm just going to share a few things with you that you can consider and see if you've already adopted these, then you're good. You're already making the most of the time you're spending in devotion. And if you haven't adopted these yet, then you can think about it if this is something that you want to make use of in your devotional practice. So let's say somebody is doing 30 minutes of devotion, 30 minutes of sadhana. For you, that may be your devotional practice could be doing arti, it could be doing kirtan, it could be doing pujan. Let's say you're dedicating 30 minutes in some way for devotion to God. How will you get the most out of those 30 minutes? First and foremost, of course, you already know the answer, Rup Dhyan. The mind has to be engaged, right? If our mind is not engaged in devotion, then we're not getting the real benefit. The real benefit comes when our mind is joined with God, then we get His grace, and that starts purifying our mind. His qualities start impregnating our mind. We start taking on daivi gunas, the godly qualities start being cultivated in our personality just by doing Rup Dhyan. But if we're practicing physical devotion without the engagement of the mind, then we may spend hours and never see the effects of heart purification. Today I saw a couple of scenes that really made me feel good. Of course, you all know we have the kids program going in parallel, and it's an amazing thing for kids to be drawn towards God at this age, and especially at the high school age. Shri Maharaj says that age is actually, it's very difficult for a person to keep their mind engaged in God during those late teen years. But here we try to, both for adults and kids, design such a program that keeps our mind engaged in sadhana and seva one way or another throughout the whole day. And simply by following the schedule, one way or another, your mind is going to be in Radha Krishna and in Guru, and you'll be getting the effects of that. So I saw some of the effects of that after only 2 days today. I saw a couple of scenes right here in the mandir. So at one point during the break time, I was walking through and I saw a group of 7 or 8 teenagers sitting on the lobby floor over there, practicing kirtan together. They could have been doing anything. It was their break time. They could have been chatting, gossiping, sleeping. They could have been doing anything. Why was their mind so drawn to God to do kirtan? It's only Guru's grace and Radha Krishna's grace received because they've been doing devotion since they've been here and over years of their life. And then another scene just a few minutes ago, I was up in my room directly above that staircase. So all the sounds, if anyone's sitting in that area over there, I hear everything straight up in my room. So there were a few kids, again, high school kids, sitting on the stairs over there. They came about 15 minutes early for their class. And they were just chatting innocuously, just like in a good mood, sitting, not really talking about anything much. But periodically, one of them would break into kirtan. Just a couple of them are talking, and one of them would be going, Radhe Radhe Govinda, Govinda Radhe. Just a couple of lines like that, and then chat some more, and then another one would start chanting. I was amazed. I was listening to the conversation that's interspersed with the kirtan like that, and I was saying, this wouldn't happen normally, right? It means that it's seeping into their mind, that grace has entered their mind, so it's just spontaneously coming forth. Of course, none of us, including them, are in that mind frame all the time, even when we're at Radha Madhav Dham, and we're not saints, but to see that even happening sometimes is a very encouraging sign. It reminds me of the time Maharaj said in one of his lectures that he had told people that, oh no, they had said, you know, it's the last night of sadhana, Maharaj, should we have all night chanting? And Maharaj said, no, just go to bed the same time you guys do every night. Like 11, just cut everything off at 11 o'clock and go to bed. And they came back to Maharaj later and said, no, Maharaj, this cannot be. We have to have all night chanting. So Maharaj said, I felt like I gained a couple kilos, like my blood grew. I was so happy that my kids all wanted to do kirtan. It was coming from them. So the point I'm making is that if our mind is actually engaged in devotion, then it's going to purify. And these signs, like wanting to chant God's name, feeling happy chanting God's name, or doing anything devotional, these are signs that we're starting to experience bhav. We're entering into the stage of bhav bhakti with God and Guru's grace. So we have to do Rup Dhyan. If we're going to make the most of any time we're spending in devotion, Rup Dhyan is the process through which our mind gets attached to God. This point is stressed at many places in the scriptures. Just like in the Bhagavatam, Bhagavan Brahmakartsnena Triranvikshya Manishaya Tadadhyavasyat kutastho ratiratman yatha bhavet. Brahma went through all of our scriptures 3 times, Ved, Shastra, Puran, everything, to try to find out what is the essence of all of that knowledge. And he said, whatever makes your mind become attached to Shri Krishna, whatever develops your love for him, that is the essence. You have to attach your mind to him. Vedavyasji also did some research on our behalf. He says, Alodya sarvashastrani vicharya cha punah punah idamekam sunishpannam dhyeyo narayano hari. He says, I also went through all our Vedas, Shastras, all the scriptures, many, many times, punaha punaha. And what is the one thing that I was able to extract as the essence? He said, simple. Meditating on Shri Krishna. That's it. That's the essence of all the knowledge and all the practices, all the forms of devotion. Everything can be boiled down to just do Rup Dhyan. Rup Dhyan is the process of meditation. Shri Maharaj calls it Rup Dhyan. It means you form the image of Shri Krishna, Radha, Guruji in your mind. You've been hearing different people explain to you about Rup Dhyan because this is the most important thing. Why does Rup Dhyan work? Why is this process so effective? There are 4 situations. Let's take a material person or a material thing. Material thing like a Murthy. It's a rock. Carved rock, so that's a material thing. Or a person is also a material thing. So let's say that you're thinking about this Murthy as a piece of carved stone. So it's a material thing, and you're thinking about it with what we would call sansari bhavana. Bhavana means your sentiment or your feeling. And sansari means you're just thinking of it as a material thing. So you can worship or attach your mind to a material thing with sansari bhavana. You can do the same with a person, right? You can love a person or attach your mind to a person, and you're just thinking of them as a person. So a material thing with sansari bhavana. Or you could think of a material thing with Bhagavad bhavana. Bhagavad bhavana means you're now engaging your mind, faithfully remembering Krishna is in everyone and everything. So he is in the Murthy. So I'm not seeing a piece of stone, I'm seeing Krishna. So it's a material thing, but you're seeing it with Bhagavad bhavana. You can do the same with a person, but it's harder because an inanimate object is not going to irritate you or annoy you. So that's why a murti or a picture can be useful in devotion, but a person is generally not useful in devotion. A material person doesn't, it's hard to maintain that Bhagavad bhavana for more than a few seconds. So that's the second option. First, material person or a thing, and you're attaching your mind to them with sansari bhavana. And second situation with Bhagavad bhavana. Now the other two situations, let's say Shri Krishna took avatar and we got to meet him face to face. And we knew he was Krishna because let's say Durvasa ji came and said, this is Bhagwan Shri Krishna. And we had faith in Durvasa ji, so we said, okay, I'm going to attach my mind to him. And we attached our mind to Shri Krishna, so he's a divine entity, and we attached our mind to him with Bhagavad bhavana. Knowing he's God, we attached our mind to him. Or the other situation would be, it's really Shri Krishna. Nobody told us he's God, but we loved him anyway. Let's say during his avatar kal, there were some gopis who didn't know Krishna was God, but they loved him. They attached their mind to him with sansari bhavana. Okay, now let's see the results of these four things. The case of the gopi attaching her mind to Shri Krishna, not knowing he was God, what's the result? She attained God. She attained Shri Krishna. Because when your mind is attached to something, you get the quality of that thing, whether you know about its intrinsic characteristics or not. For instance, if you have an infection and you take antibiotics, let's say you have no background in chemistry or biology, so you have no clue what's in that pill you just swallowed. Will your lack of the knowledge of chemistry and biology inhibit the action of that medicine once it enters your bloodstream? No. The thing is going to give its effect once it makes contact with you. Does the one who designed the pill, the chemist who designed that antibiotic, who knows the exact formula for it, who mixed it in the lab, if that person takes the pill, do they get more benefit from the same pill? No. So the thing is going to give its effect, whether you know about it, its qualities or not. So if somebody loves Shri Krishna with sansari bhavana, they'll get the same effect as someone who loves him with Bhagavad bhavana. In other words, the correct effect. Your mind joins with him, you attain him. How about the other side? If you love a material thing with Bhagavad bhavana, you get also a divine result. Why? Because you're not getting the result of the material thing, you're getting the result of Krishna who resides in the material thing. The only situation where you would get the wrong result is if you attach your mind to a material thing or person with sansari bhavana. You might argue, but isn't Krishna in there? Oh yes, he's in there, but you didn't attach your mind to him. You had only attached your mind to the material personality, not to the divine personality residing within. So if we attach our mind to a material thing with sansari bhavana, we get no good result, just more material attachment. But if we attach our mind to a material thing with bhagavad bhavana, we get a divine result, God realization. Why did I explain all of this? Because our Roop Dhyan comes in one of these four categories. The material thing with Bhagavad Bhavana. Our mind is material, so it can't imagine anything divine. So the form we create in our mind is a material form. However, if we have faith that Krishna is in this form I've created, now you've attached your mind to Shri Krishna. So although your imagination is a material thing, but real divine Shri Krishna is in that imagined image. So you get a divine result. Even though we're incapable of visualizing his actual form, we still get a divine result from our material effort because of his grace. He's omnipresent, so he's in our imagined form as well. We just have to have that Bhagavad Bhavana. Same thing if we worship a Murthy. The Bhagavad Bhavana has to be there. Shaili darumayi lauhi lepyam lekhyam cha saikati manomayi manimayi pratimashta vidha smrita. The Bhagavatam says there are 8 main ways to make a Murthy, a deity of God, an image of God. You can make one shaili, means carved out of stone. So if you worship a shaili Murthy with Bhagavad Bhavana, you'll get God realized. Or darumayi, you can make it out of wood. Or lauhi, out of metal, any combination of metals. Lepya, out of clay. Lekhya, something an artist creates, a drawing, a painting. Saikati, out of sand. Manimayi, out of a jewel or jewels. And finally, manomayi. You created it in your mind, which is what Shri Maharaj recommends for us to do. He says, leave the other Murthis. You don't want to be bound by the do's and don'ts of taking care of a Murthy properly. So just make your Murthy in your mind and infuse your meditation with Bhagavad Bhavana, and now you'll get the correct result. Just like Shri Krishna pervades the Murthy, the stone Murthy, he pervades the Manomayi Murthy in your mind. When Shukdevji was explaining to King Parikshit the Aghasur Leela, that demon who came and took the form of a huge python and swallowed up all the Gwalbals. So Shri Krishna came, entered into his mouth, and killed him and revived all of his friends. And of course, once he had been killed, he was actually released from that demon form that he had been born as. And he entered into Shri Krishna, entered into his divine abode. So Shukdevji said, such is the amazing grace of Shri Krishna. Sakridya danga pratimantarahita Manomayi bhagavatim dadam gatim. He said, Parikshit, you shouldn't be amazed that Aghasur got delivered by Shri Krishna. I mean, Shri Krishna entered right inside his body, and with Krishna's divine touch, Aghasur became surrendered and he went to the divine abode. So what to say of Aghasur having God come and enter his own body? Even if a person just imagines the form of Shri Krishna and attaches their mind faithfully to that form, even that person goes to the divine abode. So this is the effectiveness of Rup Dhyan. So, Rup Dhyan is main. If we're using Rup Dhyan throughout our, again, using the example of doing 30 minutes of devotion. Some of you do more, and that's even better. But let's say 30 minutes of devotion. You're doing Rup Dhyan the whole time, you got 30 minutes of benefit. If you only did Rup Dhyan part of the time, then you only got a partial benefit. What about other practices? There are so many other ways to do devotion. Navadha Bhakti, 9 main ways of doing devotion, or many, many more. There are infinite ways to do devotion. Of course, Rup Dhyan is main because that's the one you do internally. And the whole point is to attach your mind to Shri Krishna. But is there any value in these other forms of devotion? Possibly. Do they help you do Rup Dhyan? Do they enhance your Rup Dhyan? Then there's value. Remember, we're talking about streamlining here. We want efficiency. We're, you know, when a company decides, let's say a new CEO comes in, he says, I have to make this company more profitable. So he's going to analyze, he or she is going to analyze this company. Where are the income streams? Where are the expenditures? How can we maximize our income and reduce our expenditures? So we need to do the same thing in our devotion. If Rup Dhyan is the main thing, we have to look at, if I only have 30 minutes for devotion, am I spending it on other things that aren't Rup Dhyan? What is the value of that? So we have to be ruthless. A good CEO is ruthless, right? Oh, sorry, I have to let these 10 employees go. We just don't need them. I wish you all the best. I hope you find more work, but we don't need you here. It's the same thing with other forms of devotion. Rup Dhyan is all we need. However, if some other form of devotion enhances our Rup Dhyan, then we should keep it. We don't need to cut that one loose. But out of all the forms of devotion, Kirtan is said to be the most effective enhancer of Rup Dhyan in Kali Yuga. Krite yadhyayato vishnum tretayam yajato makhai dvapare paricharyayam kalau tadhari kirtanat. The Bhagavatam says in other yugs there are other external practices that help us with our Rup Dhyan. So in Satyug, you have to leave everything and go in some isolated place and just do like Dhruv did. Just sit and do Rup Dhyan until Shri Krishna comes to you. In Treta Yuga, Yagya, Vedic Yagya is recommended as the accompanying practice. In Dwapar Yuga, Pujan is recommended as the accompanying practice. But in Kali Yuga, Kirtan is the most highly recommended thing. Kaler doshanidhe rajan nastihyeko mahan guna. The Bhagavatam says, although Kali Yuga is the ocean of all the bad qualities, yet there's one supreme quality that Kali Yuga has that makes it an even better Yuga than Satyug. What's that? You can attain Shri Krishna just by chanting his name. So kirtan is the main external practice of devotion for Kali Yuga. The kirtan helps us. It's like a delivery method. So the medicine is the main thing, right? Roop Dhyan is that magic pill. You put that in, it's going to do its work. But maybe, if you mix that medicine, that pill, in some, gura and ghee, something sweet, something tasty, then it's going to go down a lot easier, and you might even feel like eating more of that medicine than you would otherwise. So that delivery method is not the main thing, but it enhances the experience of the medicine. Similarly, Roop Dhyan is the main thing. But when we put it in the kirtan, we can do it for a lot longer and it feels a lot sweeter. So, to maximize the time you're spending in devotion, what is recommended for Kali Yuga by all the saints, and especially by Jagadguru Shri Kripalu ji Maharaj, is, of course, Roop Dhyan for the entire time. But concentrate on doing kirtan with your Roop Dhyan. What about all the other practices? Those ones we're ruthlessly cutting away. Okay, I don't need you anymore. I don't need you anymore. Will there be any punishment? I used to do this pujan. I used to do this vrat. All these various ways that we worship God. If they're not required, if all that's required is sit, do kirtan or listen to kirtan and do Roop Dhyan, now I'm cutting out all these other practices? Vedavyasji says not to worry. Smartavya satatam Vishnu vismartavyo na jatu chit sarve vidhi nishedha syuretayoreva kinkara. Padma Puran. He says, remember, I already told you. The other one was from Ling Puran, where Vedavyasji said, I did manthan of all the scriptures again and again, and the essence of all the knowledges and practices is do Roop Dhyan on Shri Krishna. So if you're doing Roop Dhyan, here he uses the word smarana, same thing. You remember Shri Krishna with your heart and mind. If you're doing smaran of Shri Krishna and you're not forgetting him, then you have already followed all the do's and don'ts of the scriptures. So you don't have to do any other do's. Do this pujan, do this pat, recite this mantra, this vandana. You don't have to do all of that. It's already included. If you are doing Roop Dhyan of Shri Krishna, you've already gained the benefit of all those other practices. So there's no need anymore for that. Maximize your time. The way to maximize it is with kirtan to enhance your Roop Dhyan. So focus on that. One other way that we have to maximize our time is by becoming ananya to one particular form of God. If we have many forms, we have Radha Krishna, we also have Ganesh Ji, we also have Lakshmi, we also have Shiv Parvati, and we're doing devotion, putting tilak and doing arti and to everybody. Is it wrong? No, it's not wrong, but remember, we're trying to maximize our efficiency. We're going on this 30-minute model. You only have 30 minutes, so I want you to get the most out of your 30 minutes. You won't get the most out of it if you're scattered. You have to be focused. So choose one, Radha Krishna. Spend all your 30 minutes doing Roop Dhyan and Kirtan, maybe Arti of Radha Krishna. Why only one? In Roop Dhyan, you're trying to practice developing that image in your mind. So if you're jumping around from one form of God to another, wo Roop Dhyan kabhi paripakva nahi ho jayega. Your Roop Dhyan won't get perfected. Focus on one form. Just focus on Radha Krishna. Why Radha Krishna? Well, for one thing, we have their loving leelas that make it so much easier, so sweet to think of their personality and their leelas. They're so much like us. It's very natural to think of them. There's no restriction with how to love Radha Krishna. Dasya Sakhya Vatsalya Madhurya Bhav. Any bhav is possible with Radha Krishna. Plus, again, talking about efficiency. Let's say somebody says, but I want to worship everybody. I want to worship Hanumanji and Durga Mata and everybody, not just Radha Krishna. Okay, let me expedite your process for you. Yatha taror mulanishe chanena tripyanti tat skandha bhujopashakha pranopaharat yathendriyanam tathaiva sarvarhanamachyutejya. In the Bhagavatam, Vedavyasji says, you have a big tree and you want to deliver water to every leaf and twig and branch and flower and fruit of that whole tree. It would take a lot of work to go around and put water on all of them. Why not just pour water on the root and the water is automatically delivered everywhere? It's the same thing with Radha Krishna. They're the mool, they're the root of all the forms of God. Because they are Anshi, the source. And all forms of God, all the male forms of God are Ansh of Shri Krishna. They're a part of his personality, so they're included in him. And all the female forms of God are Ansh of Radha. Again, let me take you into the scriptures. Sa ek eveshwaraha narayano khila brahmandadhipati rekonshaha tasya shaktayastvane hladini sandhini jnanecha kriyadya bahuvidha shaktayah tasvahladini variyasi paramantaranga bhuta radha. There's a long description in Radhika Upanishad about how Narayan, the ruler of uncountable Brahmans, he is Ekaha Anshaha, he's one part of Krishna's personality. Narayanaha Akhila Brahmandadhi Adhipati Ekaha Anshaha. He's the Adhipati. He's the CEO of uncountable Brahmans, the president of uncountable Brahmans. And he is but one Ansh of Shri Krishna, whose essence is Radharani. So when Mahanarayan, Mahavishnu is Ansh of Shri Krishna, just like Brahma says, Yasyaikani shvasita kalamathavalambya jivanti loma vilaja jagadandanath Vishnur mahan sa iha yasya kalavishesho govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. Brahma Samhita, that Mahavishnu, the creator of the whole universe, he is kala visheshaha. He is a power, a special power of Shri Krishna, Govinda. Shri Krishna is Supreme God, Swayam Bhagwan. All the other forms of God are Bhagwan, but he is Swayam Bhagwan. They are his avatar. He is avatari. Jagrihe paurusham rupam Bhagavan mahadadibhi avatara hyasankheya hare satvanidher dvija ete chanchakala punsah krishnastu Bhagavan swayam. Swayam Bhagwan, Shri Krishna. The Bhagavatam is telling us Shri Krishna is Swayam Bhagwan. He is Supreme God. And from him come avatara hyasankheya. Uncountable different avatars come from Shri Krishna like a lake with millions of rivulets emerging from it. But out of those, some of the most important are his Purushavatar. So his first Purushavatar, Pratham Purushavatar, is called Karanarano-Vashai Mahavishnu. So he takes avatar as Mahavishnu to manifest the entire universe. Then his Dvitiya Purushavatar is called Garbhodashai, where he becomes omnipresent in the whole universe. And then his third avatar is called Kshirodashai Vishnu. There are unlimited Kshirodashai Vishnus, one in each Brahmand. And as Maharaj explained in the lecture we saw last night, Brahma, Vishnu, and Shankar of each Brahmand are the form of Kshirodashai Vishnu. So that's why Brahma says, Shrijami tanni uktoham haro harati tadvashah purusham brahma vishwam purusha pati trishakti dhrik. In the Bhagavatam, Brahma says, I create with the power I get from Shri Krishna, Shiva destroys with the power he gets from Shri Krishna, and Vishnu protects with the power he gets from Shri Krishna. So they are all, Brahma, Vishnu, Shankar of our Brahmand are one of uncountable Brahma, Vishnus, and Shankars of the uncountable Brahmans, and they all are Ansh of Mahavishnu, one single Mahavishnu who resides in Vaikunt. And he is but one small part of Shri Krishna's personality, one small power. It is said that with only 1/16 of his power, Shri Krishna creates and upholds the existence of this endless universe. That's Mahavishnu. Now, that doesn't mean that Mahavishnu is 1/16 of God. Every form of God is none other than Shri Krishna. So every form of God is full and complete, but is only manifesting a fraction of Shri Krishna's total power. And it's the same thing with Radharani. Sansha Kamala Shailaputri Tam Radhikam Shakti Dhatrim Namamaha. Ved is doing stuti of Radharani in Radhikopanishad, saying, we, the Vedas, bow down to Radharani, who is the Shakti Dhatrim. She is the giver of all the divine powers to all the forms of God. That's why Kamala and Shailaputri, in other words, Lakshmi and Parvati, they are Sa Ansha. They are her Ansh, Radharani's Ansh. So when you can worship the Anshi directly, the Ansh, all the Ansh are automatically included in that. You pour water on the root, that's delivered to all the parts of the tree. So by worshiping Radha Krishna, simply by doing Roop Dhyan of Radha Krishna, you have already worshipped all the forms of God. They're all happy, they're pleased with you, they're dancing, they're so happy that you are doing Roop Dhyan of their Swami. They also worship Radha and Krishna and desire for their divine bliss. Shri Maharaj Ji was explaining in a video I saw recently, he was talking about Gayatri Mantra, and he said that Gayatri and Savitri and all these Devis, they're all Ansh of Radharani. So someone was asking, should I say Gayatri Mantra? Brahmins are supposed to say Gayatri Mantra during Sandhya, couple times a day. So that's unnecessary. Maharaj said, just say Radhe name, it's the equal of thousands of Gayatri mantras. Gayatri is a Devi who's Ansh of Radha. So if you're taking Radha's name, you've already said Gayatri mantra, and you've spared yourself the difficulty of learning the intonations required to say a Vedic mantra correctly. Because if you don't say it correctly, it's pop. So instead of getting benefit from saying Gayatri Mantra, if you're not trained properly, you'll get punishment for butchering the Gayatri Mantra. So spare yourself those troubles, just take Radhe name. So today I spoke rather bluntly to you and just tried to explain some things that would hopefully expedite your devotional process and help you get the most out of whatever time you are able to spend in devotion every day. So if after hearing this you feel that there are some things that maybe you want to change in your devotional process, then hopefully that will help you to progress more quickly on your devotional path. Boliye Vrindavan Bihari Lal Ki. So let us finish with a few minutes of Nam Sankirtan. Let's all do Roop Dhyan as we chant the names of Radha Krishna. Jai Radhe Krishna Radhe 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 Krishna Radhe.
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 Jai Radhe Krishna Radhe Radhe राधे।
जय राधे कृष्ण राधे 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 कृष्ण 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 राधे।
अलबेली सरकार की, श्रीमद् सद्गुरु सरकार की जय। जय श्री राधे। जय जय श्री राधे। जय जय श्री राधे।